go ahead and let the sun hit on my ethers, man. Yeah, we're bringing them together. Used to have ethers down to my ass for like 19 years, man. We had to do a reset. So when we did the reset, of course, we had to reset the energies. And that happens to a lot of OGs. Just the fact that it was connected to your body. That's why you see you ain't really supposed to cut your hair. It's like an etheric cords. Uh-oh, we're jumping into the game, man. Get some of my daggone PCAs real fast before we jump into this mob, man. We're talking about America. 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 Gosh, yeah, it is crazy. Believe that's for sure, though. That's for sure. That's for sure. They know. Y'all don't even know and understand, man. We had to be in school with our hands on our heart and shit. The other hand, I'm just holding the other hand for fun. Love is graduate. Pretty warm. Sun blazing. UV's out. Shining. Broadcasting to you in the ring of fire. What's really going on? We're going to be talking about what's really going on. Like I had to get all the way out here. Had to get some sun on the look too, man. It's winter time, but the sun ain't as like blazing. You know, we're on like this little circle. Every world has this little circle, you know. It has this little main little god that's running the world. Hence, on ours, you know, we happen to be at a certain point where we, on the circle, and we can keep it sunny all the time. But I did do 35 some winters, man, so don't get it twisted. I know what it's like. I know how to layer up when it's cold outside. I was blessed to be able to sit out here under the palm trees for a second. In the world, it's always spirits, man. It's always going to be some spiritual shit. Let me get Thuggy Dubs. One of the Thuggy Dubs that passed away, man. Got that news. Somebody said something about my thug that passed away. I was like, oh, man. Yeah, we're going to be building about the whole Amaru, the all spirit. Gautama. The name of Buddha, coincidentally, huh? Buddha named Gautama, and we finding all kind of Buddha coins up in Lake Michigan. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So we got to get all into it, man, because this is real. Our world was where it was at first. All our stories was where we was at first. Then their stories came about. Got to watch out for the Awaspi too, because the Awaspi will have you, you know, also believing if you're not careful in their doctrine. That's how we learn to not be into the Awaspi all the way. Hey, what's happening to you? What's happening? I'm doing well, thank you. Finally got some sun. I did some winter times in my life, so I'm appreciating the sunlight during the winter months. I think most allowed me to heal up for a little bit through all those, through all that, you know, those winter seasons, boys. To be out there in 35 below zero, layered up outside, doing construction too on windows and stuff, man. Climbing ladders, man. Oh man, oh man. But that was fun though. Breathing that cold, brisk air and shit. Cleaning you out, still using the alkalinity in the air to clean you out. It's therapeutic at those times as well. One of the birds died. I was like, okay. I'm on the lava stone beach. It's the little healing pool. They call this place I think it's called the House of God. I just be sitting there with the thug, with the birds and shit, you know. I don't like to say it like that, but, you know, chilling. You got the little healing pond. You get in there and you get yourself, baptize yourself in the water, you know. Get the minerals that come from the waters that is from around the world, especially in this area, this, you know. So, yeah, I was just going to build about that, man. You know, the all spirit. And one more thing I was going to add on, too. The ET versus the aliens. Oh, man, oh, man. Because that's the difference between the ET and the aliens, you know. And I'm having to really jump into it so we can keep everything going. Get the thugs out the way. Let me make sure I got my back right. Nobody coming around, because sometimes people got narcissistic personality, thank you, Most High. You know, so they'll come through and get through your boundaries when they see you kind of trying to be in your own little thing. All right, so ETs, extraterrestrials, extra land, you know, aliens above the dome, above the firmament. You know, worlds are, once they get to a certain age, they are designed like Star Trek, like a Star Wars going on, you know. So there's certain entities and certain, you know, spirits that live on the first resurrection on all the worlds, that are able to travel to other worlds on that first resurrection upon transitioning. Like you can go to other worlds like with a passport, other lands with like a passport. They can do that to other worlds. And our world was kind of like that. Especially they can do that with worlds that were evolved, so they had to be hella truthful with their travel, whether that's spirit or their oh yeah, it's warm. It's pretty warm right now. It's warm in the sun. If the clouds weren't here, it'd be messed up. But they have to get these worlds when they're lowering their spirit, lowering their spiritual development, and not connected all the way to the all spirit and their ancestors. You know, hence this is how false gods are formed on these worlds, and that's how they came on our world. All these false gods are connected. Pretty much the latter ones, we can just pretty much talk about the latter ones, because they are the ones who took over the ones that formerly started the false god trend, all the way starting from Anu Hasaj. We can kind of link him to the Anunnaki or whatnot. You know, everybody's trying to link niggas to Anunnaki. Remember, there's two different kinds of niggas. You know, the American niggas is the ones who they don't really know too much about. They kind of deciphering the stories, that we already had connection to the all spirit. When they found us, we happened to be already in Iron Age, pretty much. There's a Golden Age, Silver Age, a Bronze Age, and an Iron Age. The Bronze Age, we was just leaving that age, which was we was making our technology kind of bulky and shit. We had force fields and everything. You can see remnants of these things with star forts and the technology that's around those star forts that are around the world on certain ley lines, like the 33 parallels and all these different things. They're all around the world. Meaning that we already had trees, and we had, you know, we built with the right ones who were able to see spiritual things. We were able to, you know, not you know, misuse their power. Because a lot of people who have power with such technology, they're abusers and use it and turn it against each other and one another. That's when you got, you know, people's own country with their narcissistic personality disorder, they haven't overcame that. They would sabotage their own country for a dictatorship. When you have a dictatorship in the world, you're having a false god or a false lord that's already getting inspired by some type of people, or I mean some type of spirit that is like a Jujud or a jinn. This happened around the other parts of the world. This don't happen in our shit. In America, we didn't have false gods and false prophets. We was like, you hear like the Native Americans, when they say the so-called Native Americans, they was connected to the all spirit, they really meant niggas and shit. Because we taught them when they came over. And to say, just keep your, you know, just be cool and be cool with nature. Everybody else couldn't follow that shit. As it got more advanced, you know, we had to write up constitutions and all kind of shit, declarations, and we already set the example with Iowata being one of the true and living prophets of the Most High, true shepherd, who unified the nation, the America, basically, to give it the motto of what it is today. But they happened to get that self voted in there, and then, you know, meaning that it's not just totally white folks. They run. The uppers are running with the uppities of the other sides. There's like low vibratorial things going on, trying to take over the world, trying to take over the land of America. What's up? Bringing in that water. Sitting it with them lava rocks too. That's what he happened to put on the head of man to give him the downloads from the information of the crystals that were stored in the lava rocks. It just happened to be, you know, one of the stories. But anyhow, though, false gods were getting destroyed as time went on over in the other sides of the world, like Arabia, Hellas, which is, you know, Greece and Russia and Asia and all that. They had false gods that did wars, that they did certain ways to get their heavenly kingdoms built up, where they had mortals. They basically tricked them or marketed to their spirits into the afterlife that they had the all spirit, they had the all best heaven in the whole entire galaxy type shit. And mortals were believing that. Ones that weren't, you know, chosen. The chosen ones were faithists, which was the ones that naturally believed into the all spirit. Like they naturally just, even if they didn't have nothing to believe in, if they had all the fake guys in front of them, they still have an inkling like, man, there's something big. Something bigger, man. We connected to we're nature, man. These motherfuckers can't be ruling us like this in human form, because they're already trying to halt your light form. So when you see it like an ET, these are like spirits that already died. These are hideous looking motherfuckers who don't want to do the work to get into etheria. The aliens are beautiful. They're not ugly, so they try to make it seem like the aliens are ugly and the ETs are beautiful when they come here. Like, but it's the opposite, because to be able to naturally graduate off of your world, going through all your inorganic heavens and bypassing inorganic heavens and going to your organic heavens, depending on how far your world is developed, because this happens to all of Hawa's worlds, all of the Most High's created worlds, where he sent his highest exalted angels to correct the worlds and raise it up like it's a garden and shit. You know, and the light ones, who are Etherians on those worlds, who has a potential to graduate off of the planes, those are carefully looked after. Whereas ones who are living like you can't see, physical, spiritual shit, as often they're called, like, just to give them a name by the Awasi, they call them drugs. But it's in regular life, you just call them ones who just can't get right, you know what I mean? So hence they have to continue on their life when the heavens is forced upon them. And hence, if they're being inspired by, not their ancestors, or if their ancestors are some crooks and shit like that, they just want to control, have little heavens on earth instead of graduating off an earth plane, then they just going to continue to get inspired to do hellish shit. But karma always plays a role, because we already taught that science through Zarathustra, who basically really came from our land. Our land happens to be Amaru, or America, or Tamari, or Tamaray. The first Egypt. Our shit wasn't Egypt, but we had to give you a name just to say Egypt to make it, thank you, Moses, to make Muz get an idea of what it is, how Egypt started off. It started off in our land, of course, and then it got traveled abroad and shit. It was like a worldwide thing, like how America is. You know how you can go to any place in certain worlds, America got shit that's doing American shit, you know what I'm saying? Ain't too many places like that in the world. Chinatowns got Chinatown, China got Chinatowns and shit in America, but America got bases all over the motherfucker. You gotta understand. And that's just living off the coattail of what niggas actually put into the gene, into the world. Meaning that we was the ones that was naturally inspired, the FBAs, or the Foundation of Black America, the ones they really hate the most, man. And they know when you got that gene because they try to hurt you and shit. If they know you got that gene, like I feel that Anthony Joshua got the gene, he doesn't know, because he doesn't really vibe with the Nigerians too tough. And when you're dealing with anything outside of their world, they're dealing with false gods, and they're dealing with, spell work constantly. They're only dealing with ancestors. They're not dealing with the all spirit. Meaning that it's not that you're a Rudy Poo and you just deal with the all spirit, and you actually how we is now. Just live and direct, just out there, very charismatic, knowledgeable, creative, inventive, and all of that shit. Even without, we're doing that when they got us like this and shit. But just imagine when we're without it. We're even more free. So this is what we're trying to get to that point. This is why celibacy separates us we can get to the outer Etherian realms. And that's what we were able to do. Nobody else in the world were able to do it. We had to send them caretakers and shit, and angels. We had to send them caretakers and angels to kind of clean up their heavens around them and get the more righteous ones that's with them to manage their heavens above their land. We already had the connection with the Most High in our land. Our heavens were managed to graduate all of us off of the earth plane. That's why they always go at us, G. Because we're the Etherians, or the aliens, they could say. And the extraterrestrials are the ones who travel from world to world, which is different circles, because Most High sits on the circle of the world. The Most High of that world is the God, basically. He's the one responsible for getting and cleaning all the wicked spirits, or the Drujin spirits, the ones who don't even know how to, who doesn't know nothing about mortal birth or mortal life. They don't know anything about morality. So it's his duty to clean them up and place them in heavens above the world of earth. But when he's hijacked and shit by other false gods who entice these mortals to go to different lands and take over and shit, it becomes a little harder. You gotta ask for help and shit. Sometimes it get overwhelming. You gotta ask for it. A motherfucker come send some help. I need some shit, because these motherfuckers trying to take over. I know you warned me, but this is kind of hard. So now you see in our heavens in America, there's everything is lined out in horizontal. So in our world, on the first and second resurrection, meaning the second resurrection, none of those type of hideous creatures can stay on that resurrection upon transition, meaning that if they have to do some kind of work to get off of earth if they're on second resurrection. If a hideous creature has taken over second resurrection, it means he had gained the trust of a true God of the world. And if he's gained the trust of a true God of the world, then he's able to manipulate the rest of the Lord's and lordesses that are ranked under him to create their own heavens and to give into their earthly, selfish desires. Oh, way to put it, boy. Yeah, so when you got, I'm just going about the earthly desires. You have a Lord who's basically on a world on the second resurrection. He's like a hideous looking Lord, and he has lordesses under there. When he gets to that rank under true God of a world, he's able to inspire any of those lordesses and lords that's under him, which are angels, which are spirit form beings, to form their heavenly kingdoms under him, though. And that's what they did on this world. But Gautama, or America, was set safe, which was the where the land of the niggas. This ain't here Indians, they talking about India superior, niggas. India is basically the land where Zarathustra is from. Zarathustra is like the tallest motherfucker in the world, who already showed the science of, you know, the life living after death, which your light being lives after that. That was before Osiris, the false Osiris, coming in with his shit with the false star, you know, who later became Gabriel, who was a right-hand man to Luamon, who Luamon was an angel who inspired Constantine, which was a mortal who could see Sargus, or spirit beings who can be influenced and shit. And he got him to put up Christianity, basically. And with those, he was able to influence he was able to steal some of the Israelites away. And when he was able to get some of the Israelites, he was able to trick them also into coming to his heavenly kingdom. Now, his right-hand man, Gabriel, taught him all. He the one that got him all that shit and gave him all the methods. But he still had some kill left up in him, too, because he was like, hey, these motherfuckers is ETs. They're not aliens and shit. They're ETs, you know? So he like, yo, man, I thought you were going to promise me my motherfucking money, man. Basically, like, you going to give me my kingdom? I got all this shit for you. Everything laid out. Because they only added to the story of creation what Anu Hasaj came with. Anu Hasaj was the first false god. I got food in my hand, this case the thugs come through. Anu Hasaj was the first false god. Well, not the first one, but the first successful one that was able to reign supreme, basically. He learned from his teacher, which was Ahura, or Atura, who learned about the land of all the faithers of the chosen, which was in America. He never got a chance to set foot on America, but he sent a lot of emissaries to wiggle their way up in there. Kind of like how they wiggle their way in the politics and shit. They wiggle their way into our way of living, which was through priests and priestesses and temples. And they're manifest in these temples and play the role of false gods and ancestors, and tell them that they would do certain things, and this is how they would, get those sacrifices popping off. And that was the time that you weren't supposed to do that, because it was due to we were being tested as angels and mortals. But our land was totally connected to getting off of the earth plane. Like it's a star fleet thing going on. That's why you got the shit popping off in Houston and Florida and shit. All that shit's laid out. It was already popping off. You know what I'm saying? There's more areas too that they don't want to talk about. Well, everything's coming about, so they can't help it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no niggas is a part of it. So for them to even mention Third Eye Atlas, them niggas is either inside the firmament or outside of the firmament when they first seen them motherfuckers. And if they were outside of the firmament, that means their false god gave them lenses to peep and look at. Because their false gods too do play the all god, and there's only a few of them niggas left that's running around trying to, play the role of the all-eye seeing spirit. You got Mormons and shit. That's an angel that's caught up right now, about to be caught up, because that shit ain't finna live on the land of America. Only the Most High. That's his land, and that's his babies. And then a few other sections in the world. The faithers. These ones are made. They were blessed with the inspiration of the Most High off of the etheric nature in itself. Just being able to grab without even having to listen to their ancestors and shit that's sitting there chilling with them or whatever. They can listen to the ether and tap in. We was the only people that was able to do that. So we was able to create technology, because we were born around copper and shit, diamonds, rubies. You can't be a false motherfucker being born around these type of things. You got to be a very intense person. This is live shit, This is live, and it's under the ground. So you're getting the UVs, and this shit ain't like this all over the world. And we got dams on our side. With the land of the beaver. It's special and it's ordained. They call it the promised land, the Lehus, whatever you want to say. It's already been ordained. And that's where the inspiration really, comes from this people. So he sent these false God sent his emissaries. But in Ethereum, by the name, it was a goddess named Spenta Armish. She had to correct his ass because he couldn't see that this nigga Anu Hassaj was a little bit off. And they're like, man, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Anu Hassaj was a little bit off. He didn't believe in the all spirit like that. He was like a false dude and shit. Who just wanted to be like, yeah, kind of like someone who, like a yes man and shit. He was standing in the line with all these stuff, with all the guys and goddesses getting ready to graduate. Spencer Amish kind of pulled, I tore her to the side and was like, yo man, you gotta check your homie and shit. He ain't rocking with the all spirit. You think I don't know what the all spirit is, nigga? We graduated off of worlds thousands of years ago, man. I got a queen over here, a goddess over here. She's 120,000 years old, nigga. And she worked a roadway for 40-something thousand years, just transporting spirits to and fro throughout the galaxy, nigga. This nigga right here, he's off. He ain't even graduated. It seems like he's old as hell on Earth. Like that nigga that ain't graduated, he's like 22 years old in high school and shit. This how this angel Anu Hassaj was, like a 22-year-old in high school, traveling amongst Earth, trying to figure out how to rule mortals and shit. And he came up with a way. Yo, I made the Earth for 7 days and shit like that, trying to mimic what the true creator told his people, which is basically just make the days of the moon honor those days and be in alignment with those days and rest as much as you possibly can, And so I know I'm Tesla. I do that. Make sure we do that. We don't follow their Sabbath or their Saturdays and shit because we was already hijacked. We already had the shit running. We just gotta listen to our genes. It'll tell us once we refine and get those little parasitic demonic entities on the microscopic level that we can't see but appears in our dream. You know what I mean? Them little funny monsters, them little shit you can't see on your body, but they there. And they gonna show in your dream like, nigga, we in your shit, nigga. But you gotta be Freddy Krueger with the shit, though. You're dealing with a dream. When you're dealing with the dream state, you're showing what type of resurrection that you're on. This is separating the ETs from the aliens. You a seed of an alien. And I know it's kind of like fucked up to talk like this, but it's like true. And they know this shit. You have different blood. You have different blood type that can give to the whole world, and people can heal up and shit. It's on a primitive level. And they know this, that they're extraterrestrials though. And that there's a solid man that's on this plane too. But when you're dealing with extraterrestrials, they're able to go through different domes. Domes weren't really a big thing. It was just a natural ozone. It was just a natural atmosphere that the angels who got their shit set up in those worlds already at a star type situation, they allowed them to come through. But when you're dealing with worlds who already came together and they want to come take over other worlds, hey, what's happening, Wellington, peace. And they wanted to come take over other worlds, they'll come as a whole after they study a world. And they get through the atmosphere, which is basically the angels, which is the defense of the world. When you're in the atmosphere, your spirit is in a flux situation where you're getting ready to graduate. You're supposed to be learning and furthering your gifts and your talents. So when you go into other worlds, you experience all these different things, and you come back to your world. After you graduate off of being an Ethereum or a Most High. They're extra. They're just extra terror. You know what I mean? They're from out there. Can turn it around. They're from out that way. You know what I'm saying? And so they got in through different worlds. Every world is a circle. It's called a world. You know what I mean? It's called a world for a reason. So we happen to be already at a certain area before their little flood and all of that shit. We was already kicking it. You know what I mean? And so, hence, they were in darkness without us. We were like earth angels. We were like earth angels and shit. But we were put to sleep for a time being. And hence, they know that you're the seed and offspring of an Ethereum. That means someone who has gotten off of the earth outside of the dome. The dome had to be placed there even stronger to make sure that they couldn't really conquer the world, get outside the world and do what they do. All the portals were locked, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? They have sophisticated shit in the down whoops. That's cool. But however, they know what's going on. They know who niggas are. So when you have extraterrestrials, like I say, these are beings who are hideous but are smart. It's not like Star Trek where you see them in Etheria and the fucking Picard and all his people kind of look the only normal. Not just because we humans and shit, you know what I'm saying, but because You're welcome. I appreciate it. All glory to the Most High. You already know we just chopping it up in the ring of fire and shit. You know what I'm saying? Getting the download. But just giving a reference of Star Trek because they know what's up. You know, Star Trek show hideous creatures in Etheria because everybody had to go through certain type of things for them to get off of their world. They always say, yo, yeah, we was in hellish and da-da-da. Like they say the Vulcans were the first one to discover the, yeah, English. Yeah, we're gonna build on English too, because English is also a part of America. It wasn't. It's a trick how they say that it was part of England. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. You know. But hey, that's another story. We got the dub over here that came through. But and with Star Trek, they show that everyone is like hideous looking in space, 3 noses and all of that shit. But hence they come from a world that was M class. So and it's all kind of different things they show, but you gotta really see through it. Whereas, or see what the cream is, because they're so Picard and all these people as being like regular looking, the most evolved looking species. Like there were mortals that traveled light speed, and they really weren't. The only time mortals can travel real fast like that is when they're in the world, and then outside of the world, outside of a certain highness of the world, outside of their dome, if they made a dome of the world, the natural dome of that world, then they're naturally going to be just traveling on the second resurrection. They done probably most likely either traveling, just chilling, going through. It's like looking at a galaxy. You have your regular galaxy, you have a spiral galaxy, and you have an elliptical galaxy. A regular galaxy is like not all put together yet. It's like a whole bunch of everything trying to get together. Spiral, everybody's getting the point. Like, yo, man, there's one absolute. We know it now, because enough prophets were born, enough sewers were born in a mortal form, in a corporal form, for everyone to start understanding, like the Most High, like they can't win one on the Most High. The Most High is like winning at all times, because all the false gods always war against the Most High. It always happens on most of the worlds, like damn near 90% of the worlds, is always going to be a false god raising up. It's due to the time of the not them mastering their corporate senses of being able to not have the desires of the world where they're at. Because remember, the galaxy is flat. It's not a 3D thing. It's a flat galaxy. And within the galaxy, you got all little spiral little worlds and shit like that. And they all revolving around this big ass world that we can't really feel. But we knew these things already. Because everything is spiral like the hair on your head. Like we have like the perfect circle, the perfect nap. We have the same hair texture of everybody on this world, but they don't have ours. We have the eyebrows smooth like the baby, the newborn, mustache like the, you know what I'm saying? Now, getting that, we got, the Hindustan mustache, the goat beard. I have to shave mine up, but, it's different from the hair of the head of ours. We have like woolly hair, like, you know what I'm saying? And it connects to the ethers. Like this thing that you can't see outside, you know what I mean, outside of us. It just connects us to the all spirit. And that's just another sign that the Most High given us to show to the world. And it's not to masquerade no superiority or nothing, because at our lowest, you're seeing us and shit, like how we are. You got to see us with all the personality disorder that you have or the world may have that they don't face. You see us facing right in front of you, even in captivity. On our own land, though, which is a very beautiful land, by the way. Because it has copper, fruits, berries, and all these different things that we have. The horn of plenty, diamonds. Remember, information can be stored in diamonds. We have what they call falsified trees, but these trees are like, if you go to a store like a jewelry store, a gem store, you touch some falsified wood. It's like the bark is like steel. Hence, these things can absorb information. And they cut these trees down on our land. It was a big ass war that happened a long time ago. And everybody took a blow, but they wanted to finish off. Most High had to allow it to happen. In the Bible they're called Gentiles and shit. But they're gonna have their way until we raise up, until we put our power back into the Most High again and keep their false gods away. This is why we weren't supposed to be playing with like witches and warlocks. You naturally connect to your ancestors. Naturally, you go into the room like in Mississippi. We got families that still do it to this day. You got a dark closet in the house. You just chill. Mumbling to yourself, like, what you doing, grandma? My granddaddy or something. They in the room praying, talking to they cousins. They damn near, they about to get in their transition. They already 90-something years old. They already talking to their cousin and Sardi's in the room. They can't wait to go to sleep when it's dark. I heard my granddad used to have so much fun. I'm like, Granddad, can you take me with you, man? He's like, yeah, come on, man. He used to play baseball and shit. I used to be in Mississippi and with him. It felt like in 1911 and shit. You know what I mean? He was born in 1905. That he was talking about when he was a child. His memory was that good. And there's angels in heaven, man, with memory so good that they can remember hundreds of thousands of years ago, friends from hundreds of thousands of years ago who graduated off of the same world but took different paths in Etheria to go and explore Hawa's expanse, creation, or we say existence. And others went to do due diligence and military services for warring, angels on certain planets that wanted to play true God and had to take back the world. This is what's happening. Still $3 in my time. Cool, man. It's all good. We don't gaslight or project anything that we feel. If it was cool, you get this tool now. It's all good, man. So, anyhow, make sure you get some fruits, berries, and melons, man. And when we're in the season, we don't jack off or do nothing. Butts don't have no orgasm, or as a man, no more. No mas, we don't even have sex with ourselves. We already been celibate, going on the 7th year for you. So we sure it could be done. You know what I mean? So this is a spiritual story. We talk about spiritual shit. It's a spiritual teaching. We're not talking about somebody sitting down, doing yoga and doing some type of energy work on an energy vampire from Reiki on another motherfucker who may have a nice energy flow from them, because that drujit or that jinn or spirit that's on them sees this. All they're doing is feeling on their energy that's probably been attached to them since birth. They attach to spirits like this in the hospice. But a lot of those spirits are called for in certain hospice by certain elites. But now that shit's breaking up. You got motherfuckers who just know how to feed upon other angels, other mortals, through their talents, and live through their gifts and shit, and inspire them. But you have also mortals who inspire the spirits to be the best that they can be. Like, man, I've been on this bitch for 1,000 years, nigga. Hey, man, I ain't never seen no all spirit come through. They've been at a time where they never seen an Etherian. It's a lot of spirits in the atmosphere who never seen an Etherian. And they only heard that, niggas is Etherians' kids. Like, niggas belongs to the Etherians. Because there's no music like music in Ethereum. A lot of this music that you hear, they try to make it to Ethereal just to even feature us on the album or shit. Feature us on the song. Have us say, yeah, or whatever, just to get in Ethereum. We might like a couple songs, but a lot of them songs ain't gonna make it to Ethereum. We ain't even hear songs that were even made 500 years ago. They gave us lies. I mean, Mozart was cool and shit. That's beautiful. I'm talking about like 1,000 something years ago, even more. They give us little hints of how it would sound, but they don't really know. Unless they got a recording and wax record in the museum somewhere that only they can get. But there's music that we got on crystals and shit that we don't even know how to play. Like, we weren't even fucking with wax. They remember when they found us, and when they found us, it was still beautiful. Our architecture was still beautiful, but it was in a bronze going into an Iron Age season. So we were still allowed them to come over into our land, and they came over with their spirits. Every one of them. They weren't native to our land and shit. None of them. So the spirits is learning. They have to be to a certain point where they can be able to function with us. Because even though we're fun and we like to have parties and shit, we still wasn't lying. We still wasn't out hoeing. We weren't tricking, doing shit like that. If Muz were gay, they weren't trying to have kids no more. It was really serious. Muz really honored and had type of integrity because our ancestors put in work over thousands of years. So when they came to our land, they're like, damn, these niggas got trains and shit. They got places where they buried. They got, oh, damn. So they were amazed at that. And they seen that we were different than other niggas around the world. Like, when they interact with us, some other niggas knew that we were the ones that, they got out of hand to the other niggas. They're like, man, what you gonna do with these motherfuckers, man? Because we don't know what to do. And they're talking about, their weapon. Even though they sent the weapon, their weapon backfired on them. They still couldn't get our world like that. Love is got you. Just enough. Nature's turning against them in our world. We're with nature. It's starting to click. And if the dragon was flying in the sky with this, they say this niggas look like American niggas on the Atlas comet. And we were told about this comet in a lot of books back in the day, man. You know what I'm saying? So we already knew it was like the Apophis and all that shit. For them to say that, just let you know. These are already spirits that already done left the world already. That means that they done live, they transition, now they're light forms. Remember, aliens are beautiful. It's the opposite. And they done went and became their real self in a natural inherited place in Etheria. Now, when you see niggas, like when you see Star Wars, not Star Wars, but Star Trek type shit, where motherfuckers is very sophisticated. That's how we are. We were already that. There's no coinky-dinky that the first people that they encountered in Star Trek was, when they went out into the universe, was niggas. So it just goes to show you had to add niggas in there somewhere, you know what I mean? So we was already at that level. And all the worlds, everybody goes through this murder, death, kill, this hellish shit. But that's you're like in a baby form. But the atmospherians are ones who just want to experience Most High's worlds by just traveling throughout the galaxy, through the galaxy's method of travel. It could be a stargate, it could be a fucking ship. They bypassing worlds that are at war with each other and shit like that. They're just experiencing and more than exploring them. Some say that we're in a dome, in a mega dome or whatnot of 178 worlds. They got to give you something to pacify you on real quick, just to let you know that there's something going on, But that's a lot of worlds, more than 178. You know what I'm saying? More than 178. They may got control of 178, but it's way more, And they already know what's going on. They got a lot of free will to happen, for things to catch up. That's why it's been a quarantine on this world. It's a quarantine. They can't leave, and that's what they're mad about. We're not even worried about leaving this motherfucker. We're like, we want them to leave. Like, get the fuck off. And they're like, nigga, we can't. Yeah, why you can't? Because, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, my big bro put the motherfucking shit up. Now y'all blaming shit on my big bro that we made the goddamn, that we made the, that we made the flood and sank a continent and all of this shit like that. It's a lot of things going on in the world. But they want you to believe all their stories and shit. But once you tap into celibacy, you start tapping back into, your own people, man. Your own, to anyone who's like willing to, put spirituality now and blend it in, or put spirituality first now. It's like the zigzag zig. We're back in the zig era again. It was in the zag era where we were learning about, planets and, we were learning about spiritual things too, which were like metaphysical things. That's spiritual science. When we get to that world, we just dealing with metaphysical shit. But yeah, ETs are ones who come from other worlds, corporeal worlds, with the help of false gods, or they just travel to go from world to world. Aliens are the niggas that come from above, the Most High. Them the totally different motherfuckers. If they say you alien, they're like, oh shit. So it's a difference. Extraterrestrials are corporeal beings, mortals who come from worlds beyond the ice ring, beyond that way. They only can go out, they only can come in. Some can travel, commercially. Then you have aliens who come from up there. Because they can only go, these corporeans can only go from, 33,000 feet with corporeal passengers in there, So we know and understand if they can only go 30,000 feet, then damn. Only certain objects can get up to like 70-something thousand feet. You got to be oxygenated, all that shit. No physical body can go up there. Only a light body. It means you have to shed your physical body. And then they had to do that for you. Enoch, then, it had to go down. It had to go down. You know what I mean? And if Enoch was able to see the other worlds as well, he was able to go see with angels who are already transitioned to live out. They're already in their grown-ups now. They look at death a different way. That's why most I want you to, that's why we weren't so quick to try to, hurt our so-called oppressor. We weren't trying to do that, we weren't trying to underachieve. It was natural in us. I know that sounds like a punk, but we were like, nah, man, it's something, man. And once we started to understand that we're dealing with a cluster B personality disorder, someone who has a broken personality, you can't, you really can't give in to beating them. They're already subjected to individual thoughts that are influenced and inspired onto them by lower vibratorial entities, spirits who already died, some spirits who ain't even never lived a corporeal life, spirits who ain't never lived a physical life. They don't know shit about physical nature. This is what the true God of the earth, his job is that send him and the lords to help clean up certain shit, help clean up the lands. There's heavens over lands, you know, but it's been hijacked. That's why certain parts of the world is under peace, and certain parts of the world is under war or threat of war. Because you have false gods that still trying to live out through the mortals of this world. But this is going to be an all one world once again. A true one nation. A true one where everybody's connected to the all spirit. We'll have the Warren class who are now, they're going to be trained on spiritual shit. We have the spiritual motherfuckers who are going to be trained on the war shit. So we're all going to be balanced out now. You know? And that's how we're going to be one nation once again. But everybody has to get celibate and face the creator themselves. Or face the all spirit itself. Niggas was the only one. We was the only one that had the all spirit in our land. And this is not to brag or boast, because there was all in the other lands they're coming to see, there was all false gods anyways. It was all their doings. And all the way that mortals act and treat them, where they treat us around the world, they really admire us, but they treat us just like how their false gods treated us. You have the false Buddha. We already had the real Buddha. Buddha's Gautama, that's America. So false ones in the false land. Which when we already came over there, we built all the structures and everything, gave them the story of what's going to happen. It's put on the wall. It's put on the wall in Angkor Wat 35,000 years ago in pictograph. You know, on the trades of our inner Atlantic slave trade or whatnot, mixing us up with the Caribbeans, with our people at home. All this is on that. Well, I'm gonna put all that up, man. It's there. We the real Buddha, man. We got in the wind and we hit it off. But instead of imagining us being in China and getting in the wind and going to the other side, we got to look at it on our side, where true China's at, where our China's at, which is in the Sea of Sociopan, which is basically Gulf of Mexico. That's a holy sea. We was already in that mud, you know. I mean, it's so holy that it's sacred. Nobody really talk about that area. It's like off limits. It's almost like consider that shit like it's the Red Sea or something. You know what I'm saying? That's how powerful that damn sea is. You know? And so, you know, well, we'll get to that a little bit more later and shit, because the download is gonna come on that one. But just to show that, yo, man, ETs, they come from out there. And they're the hideous ones. Hence, if you open up that Kaaba, they see the 4 gods sitting up in there. And remember, they got the 4 gods who were the four false gods. They show Allah. Allah is Jibril or Gabriel, who is Luamang, who's the false Christ. He is his right-hand man, the one who established, my hat man too, who established Christianity for Luamang. And Luamang didn't even give him his all heavenly kingdom. The heavenly kingdoms are above it's not really the dome. The heavens, the dome is higher than what you think. They can't get out of this mud. There's layers. There's like, they call them Van Allen belts. You know, the physical belts. You know, that's the Enoch story talks about that. So we just link it up with what NASA say too, because remember, you know, NASA tells us they never went out to the moon if the moon is outside the 3rd Van Allen belt. It's like only anything that's esoteric or metaphysical can go out that way. Your mind can go out that way. You're connected to Etherians, and that's what they don't want. That's why they want to calcify your pineal gland, have you putting sunglasses on and shit, and blocking the UV rays and all of that, and keeping us dormant. But they can't help it because the dragon came through, you know what I'm saying? And it's forcefully waking us up while we're awake, which is cool. Awakening is different stages of development, you know? That's when you're becoming aware, so that's a great thing for us. But anyhow, we was already connected to the Most High. That's why you got all them talents. Ray Charles and all this stuff, man, that we had. And they're like, God damn. So when they see us, they can get inspired because we're like a walking angel to them in the flesh. But they took advantage of it, though. And we ain't do shit to them. We turned the other cheek. We hurt ourselves. We got their sickness. Because the niggas, they knew that we weren't stand for that. We'll fuck niggas up because they're just like us. It's like any nigga who see a nigga, they know like, nigga, you know better, though. Once it's how we are with each other. So they can't say, oh, niggas just kill each other. It's like, nah, nigga. This is how we know each other. So if you come over here with some shit like, nigga, you know better, we gonna fuck, oh, man. And so that's how it happens. So if we go over to their land and they're not connected to the damn all spirit and shit, and they know it's one of us, the ones who got an Ethereum connection and shit, like, we ain't gotta ask ancestors for shit to do no spell. We don't fuck with witches or warlocks and shit. We already natural born priests and priestesses. We get the downloads ourselves. We chop it up with our ancestors, chilling like on outside, nigga. That's how cold we is. It's about to be like that again. All that's coming back online. You know, everything's coming back online. Gene Parton, so I had to get the Flim Farm filter out, which is very good because, you know, we was taught to eat the wrong foods. That's how they was able to trick us, you know, taught us to eat the swine. We weren't eating that shit. We didn't want to eat none of that shit. We didn't even want to eat nothing. We had to have secret gardens, man. It's like, damn, these niggas was growing corn in secret, man. You know, they was like, man, what them niggas cooking out there? That shit smells so goddamn good. These niggas made a pork chop. Oh, man. We at least burnt out a few of the goddamn shits. You know what I'm saying? We didn't eat that shit raw. We weren't making our steaks medium rare. We had to at least burn the shit out. You know, but we had to be like them. We had to learn ourselves. We seen our lower self. It's narcissism and sociopathic and histrionic and borderline personality who was over-sexualized, you know what I'm saying, molested by men and women and shit that was 2 times our ages, man. You know, anytime we was a kid now, frequently you go into a YMCA, I don't even know if they changed it up, but shit, the butt-ass niggas in front of minors. I think they changed it by now, but when I was little, they didn't care. And they were so damn quiet. When you're in a room for a quiet-ass naked man, you know they thoughts ain't right, dude. They didn't even give a fuck. There was a child in there, somebody under 7 years old. 7 years old. I was in that motherfucker. With a white friend, that motherfucker didn't care too. He was just like, welcome to my world. And I was like, oh, welcome to your world, huh? My mixed brother, you know, we out there in the streets, man, supernatural hood. My mom was out there in the streets, but I'm like the different kind of dude. And so they always try to test me since the beginning, like they were, you know, had a spiritual contract and shit. So I know this motherfucker was on some other shit, but he was always in battle with our original self and his grafted self. It was tight. You know, he was born 8:13, 9 years before me, 8:13 p.m. I was born at 8:13 a.m., 9 years later. 9 is that portal. You know what I'm saying? So everything he tried to do, which was, I didn't do no oral shit, but the motherfucker tried to do me. So it's like, and I knew that my mom and them wasn't ready. It's like, she didn't know how to do it, trying to tell them, they turned them. I'm like, yo, I have to talk to a guy. The only thing I had was my grandfather. Shit, my grandfather was the only one. You know, I had to go through all the spiritual initiations, losing my dog. They had to see what a person was. I had feelings and what love was like. My mom and them was in the streets was so hard. My dad lost his mama when he murdered and shit when he was 14. You know, so it was different. It was different. So I was in the gene. The way I put the genes on, it was. I had to end a certain thing. You know, it's deep. It gets a little deeper. We'll tell that story a little later. It's for all of us though. You know what I'm saying? Just to show with the Most High. It's an example and shit. Cause I had surgery too. They got to my 33 and 32, 33. Now, I'm just not no young Pharaoh shit. You know what I'm saying? They happened to see my space spiritually after they got me under an x-ray 4 years later on the same date, November 4th. That same date, I broke my neck. You know what I'm saying? And then I was able to walk. It was already healing. It was the snowiest day of the year. It was already healing. They turned me, I seen. It was already healing, but they got a chance to see that x-ray. And they kept trying to give me the CAT scan. They was like, man, what's this big old space he has in his neck? We want to fuse it together. And I was really athletic. I was like damn near dunking at 11 damn near, man. But 12, I was dunking fucking little balls, man. Like, you know, the basketballs and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so they wanted to give me all these things. I was healing. I was like, I'm ready to go. But they allowed me to walk around on this neck brace to see if I was going to mess up. They tried to get me under that knife. They wanted to get in my head. I knew it, too, because they were seeing my frontal lobes. And I was giving them the best x-rays you can get. So I'm at the top of the Nile of the West. I'll put this together then, man. I'm telling you, this is what makes it work for now. And I seen it. And that's why I knew the fruit worked, you know. Man, so, and I ain't had the support in the hospital. So, you know, Most High allowed them to go and they guided these hands, man, in my top 33, all that. And they tried to fuse it together. From a bone they took out my lower back to put in my neck. And so I couldn't move and all this shit. You know, they tried to make sure I couldn't walk, I had to learn how to walk again. Everything, you know. And they tried to do it. Most I had them, man. He had me guided. I was in the hospital just with my grandmama. My grandma they already transitioned. I said it so easily, huh? Both my grandmamas, they was spiritually sacrificed in the year I was born, which is 79. I was born in 979. They transitioned. These are spiritual, G. My grandmother, my grandmother, which is my mother's mother, they are Choctaw. She transitioned first, and then her mother transitioned 6 weeks later. And then I was born, you know. Which was it's April, October, April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, 5 months later. You know what I mean? But yeah, then I came in. I was like the spiritual. I was like they sacrificed for me to come in. So I had to learn. So I was like, when I broke my neck, you know, I knew it was a curse on me then, tried to curse me then. It was so intricate. So we're talking about this now. I'm like, yeah, man, they know who you is spiritually. We have to look at it spiritually. And it's like, I know I hear the you know, the ambulance, that's a what you call it, but we got the thugs here. They lost one today. But we over here though. One dude said, I tried to put over there to see if you could touch it and bring it to life. They actually believe, they feel that from me, man. And I'm not saying this, I'm not bragging, I'm boasting. None of these people bring me things to touch things like I'm that. I don't even want to say the name. And you know what the hell I'm saying, G. And I'm happen to be in Hawaii. They told me, my ancestors told me to come here a long time ago. It's the only way I could be able to talk, because it was already on my ass with that George Floyd. I was right in that same neighborhood when they came up. Then the police killed somebody. Hear that? And then they killed somebody right in front of my office and shit, right in front of my face. And I seen the people, man, it's the police. All of them police. Anyways, though. So they got me here. So when I start talking about Tatari structure and shit, you know what I mean? Them are just spirits, man. But these spirits out here is different because we got mounds here, so I know it's Mississippians and shit up here, so I can chop it up. And they don't want to guide it because when I first got they broke all my phones and stuff, you know what I mean, on purpose. So I tried to slow me down. And I knew I was only talking to the right ones, number 7 on the trailer. I got the number 7 right here, you know what I mean? With the old Mech head and the Poverty Point, Louisiana up there. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's fading, but you can't see it now, but that's already been up there for a while. With the yin yang right in the Olmec head. And you gotta look close to the Olmec, you got the yin yang symbol. We already came with the shit. You know, they just like damn, you know what I mean? Supreme, you got Soldier on the arms. I was gonna get tatted up more, but I gotta get to a certain point. I'm gonna get a classic ones like they really do it, like how we did it. We showed them hundreds of years ago. I wanna get those and get our family back up again. Celibacy is gonna unite us. I guarantee it's gonna make these animals all look money chilling like this. Look at this, man. You know what I'm saying? They're entitled to your love and shit. Because they know they ain't got love from everybody else, man. And they got it. You know, we got that cluster B, so we don't show each other love like how we should be. Because we're like, you know, we're numb to everything, man. We're numb to funerals, man. By the time I was 15, I probably went to 10 funerals that were close-ass friends that came into my house. That my mama and them knew they ate our food and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I got to see them at the whoop. I had to slow up. To the point I wasn't even going to the funerals. I'd be the first one there just to pay the respect, to see my bro, man, like, damn, you know, police killed you, man. You know what I'm saying? One of my coolest ones. But then I understand how shit go down, you know, in the spirit game and shit. You know what I mean? It's some real things. Minnesota is top of the Nile of the West. St. Paul is a name of Christianity, name of the man who came up with Christianity. I didn't live in St. Paul, but St. Paul, Minneapolis, it's the top of the Nile, it's Mississippi River, all that is right there, man. It's a spiritual thing. I didn't ask to go to Minnesota. They brought me up to Minnesota in the middle of the night. I mean, my dad came down. If I ain't have him, my brother and them would have had his way with me and shit. But as I got up north, any abuse you try to do towards me, whether it was sexually and shit, when I ain't have to do nothing sexually. I wasn't doing that. But to try to turn my mind and to entice a nigga to try to do something or turn a certain way, it didn't work. It fucked him up every time. But Most High had grace on him because I had love on him. I still loved him. So Most High still had grace. But as time went on, you know, he started getting punished and shit. Yeah, he know what the fuck I'm talking about. And it's serious and shit, you know what I mean? He was one of the highest gang bangers, but he was mixed and shit. So when we got to Minnesota, he was able to help save his ass. But I was able to learn a lot of things since, you know, man, it's so deep. Because the Boys and Girls Club, our Boys and Girls Club, was in an old funeral home. You know, I was already cool with spirits and shit, and a lot of us was. This is a top spiritual schools in Minnesota, man. All the spirits came from everywhere else, and they moved to Minnesota for a better life. But it was the most hoodish you could ever get. It was like all the families who were trying to be good, but it turned out to be hella hood, you know. But that's just to give you some history of a nigga and shit, and how the spirit is looking out, you know what I mean? But they got a chance of going to my vertebrae, going to the bottom of my back. I don't know if you can see. Probably can't see the scar, but it's back there though. People don't even see. They think I'm just walking around here like Luther Negro and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I had to eat the fruits, man. I wasn't even gonna move. They found me to sit in the hospital. It was like, if you can piss, or if you can do that breath thing, get to the top, you can leave. And I was like, damn, I couldn't do none of that shit. Nobody was visiting me. I'm hearing my neighbor, his white boy, was got burnt up or something like that. He was crying. He had a whole bunch of visitors and shit. I only had one set of visitors. That was the Boys and Girls Club who came to visit me. And they gave me all the trophies and shit like that in there. And I was cool. I thought I was all good. You know what I'm saying? People was crying, looking at me and shit. I can imagine. You're looking at a kid who was the most athletic motherfucker in the gym. You get all these awards and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, he can't even move right now. You know what I'm saying? He's on a different fucking journey now. You know what I mean? So it was like, boom. So basically, I think once I got myself together, my mindset together, my parents weren't visiting me that often and shit, I really had to sit there and I had to understand what I had to get. When the teacher came and asked me what I wanted to eat, what I needed to eat, I think that my ancestors had inspired me, my grandmother inspired me to get some fruit, get some grapes, some green grapes and red and apples. I ate them shits, I mean, within like an hour, man, I was able to stand up, man, and walk down the hall. That was amazing. I couldn't stand up. You know what I'm saying? I was like, had my IV now. I had an IV. Shit. I was a 12, and it happened to me at 12. I don't want you to know, man. I'm trying to tell you, it happened to me at 12. They got to my 33rd when I was 12. You know what I'm saying? And I know I shouldn't put out there, but I'm like, most of the time told me to say it, man, because this is a part of the life and shit. My brother, he's a part of that too. You know what I'm saying? All of them, I have friends, all my friends, but I love them. So it kept us alive. My prayer is strong with these people. You know what I'm saying? But, and I know they're like, God damn, you know what I'm saying? By this time, I'm like, I just got to get the story out. Yeah, I gained weight and all that stuff like that. Most time looked out for me. You know, he just looked out for me, man. I did a lot of things, and I was blessed, and I'm grateful. And that's why I'm able to talk about this. See, none of my friends see this. None of my childhood single-digit friends see what I see. Unless they're here with me spiritually and shit. We had to go through a lot of things, see. You know what I'm saying? I had to move a certain way and accordingly. It's all spiritual. I had to have my baby at home and shit. They already still watching. You know what I'm saying? I had to born my second baby at home. My first baby's born in front of them. They like, man, that's why everybody's getting checked out now. The CPS is erasing dudes and wherever they're arresting dudes. They're bringing, you know, they're taking the babies right when they're at home. Even the midwife is there. They're doing all that. They know my story, G, because they never knew. I was in St. Paul when they met me. My baby was born in the middle of the night. And I wasn't supposed to go to the hospital, man. But we had to. I had faith in my C's mom, but we didn't know. But she had me handle the situation. I was young, 20 years old, 21 years old, and I had broke down what a lotus birth was. And they were shook. They sent in 13 doctors from every which way. Like, man, you got to cut that cord, man. They was trying to get the baby about the room so motherfucking bad, man. And I got to expel this because this is what we're going through. And most I want me to tell the story. You know what I'm saying? And he's showing me the people who's getting justice right now who's supposed to help me in Minnesota at that time. But they on some money laundering shit now with the Somalians and shit. You sided with them. And that's a war dealing with, you know, Luramang and Jabril. You know what I'm saying? And it's always over the aliens, you know, descendants, basically the American niggas and shit. And they just happened to see me. I came from Mississippi. I went to the top of the Mississippi. My dad from Memphis. My mom from Cairo, Chicago. You know, but her people from Mississippi though. But we all really Mississippians and shit. That's another story and shit. Because they ain't thinking Mississippi's gonna tell the story. You know? And it's like, Mississippi nigga, what Mississippi gonna say? And it's just like, they moved me around. Most of them moved me around. Like, he hid me in front of their asses. I guess he made me appear like a little bitty naive kid or something. What was that? Peace. Man, gee. But I had to say it like that because I guess he told me to say it like that, man. We whipped the tail out, the dragon hint. It's just on like hot butter popcorn, man. Our main thing is celibacy, man. We ain't do nothing. There's no false prophet. Ain't gonna be on our shit. Ain't ever have. We had a full land of faithists that was on our land, which is all niggas, man. And when the false god Atura, he graduated, but when he seen that shit, he sent all his emissaries over there. He knew not to set foot over there. He couldn't. It was already gonna catch you. It's like he's other than his emissaries. Emissaries are different than who they send. It's like them niggas from Europe couldn't send themselves no more. They had to send white folks and disguise them and cluster B personality disorder. And it rubbed off on us because they knew that we wasn't gonna kill them motherfuckers right away. But they know that when they come, they already burnt their bridges and shit. They done did some foul shit already. That's why they ain't in America like that. That's why they warring us right now. Some of them. But some of the European niggas have our descendants, so they wanna be around us and shit. And they don't know how to get around us. And we can tell because we know who's a nigga and who ain't a nigga. All you gotta do is get in the world. You'll see. You know what I'm saying? That has that extra bop, that giving, that love. Because everybody say it now. You can see it on the internet. Nobody say, oh, niggas is mean. Oh, that's the old narrative, man. Niggas is not mean, man. They're not mean. They just maybe talk loud. They play hard. They don't call foul that much. I was out here, these motherfuckers called foul. We going to the hoop. The defensive nigga said foul. I'm like, what? Foul? Hey, man, if you don't shut your ass up, man, you supposed to guard me, motherfucker. Shit. But nah. We different, man. We was already playing all this stuff, man. We just got to sit back with each other and heal, man. And so Most High allowed me to do this right here for these years so I can be able to talk about it and be truthful and straight up and honest and shit. You know what I'm saying? With any questions or anything, I can pretty much... And now people always feel they can talk to me anyways and shit. I've been through a lot of shit. I don't even know how in the hell. I'll just be like, damn. The people who be with me, whatever they're thinking of is going to get manifested. I'm not guaranteed. They're going to have the best time. I don't even know how they know now. People who are not around me and shit. And I just seem so bored, huh? Just sitting here like blowed and shit, feeling the sun, hitting the water, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know what's around me? Me and the motherfucking birds. If it was people around, I'd be irritated and shit. It's my own energy. Yeah, I know it. I'll be all like that. Because it's me. And when I get to further areas, you can feel it when it's you even more. Then you feel your connection with the spirits that's around you. Even in this water, man. I capsized 2 times. That water helped. I had Most High save me, man. With them dolphins. The next time them dolphins didn't even let me fall, man. Oh, man, they was trying to capsize me and King and Captain Cook, that nigga down there still. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker mad. His spirit ain't to leave. That motherfucker hit. You know, that's like their Christopher Columbus and shit. And they had me come through there in the Sea of the Gods. It's called the Passage of the Gods and shit. A nigga from Mississippi by way of Minnesota and shit. I lived in D.C. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Most High put me on the Quantico basis to see what that looked like because my brother went to that shit. He used my enemies as my footstool. I guess check the shit out, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I put it all together now. I'm like, damn, nigga. Okay, so I'm supposed to work here. I'm on a kayak and shit, doing this shit. You know, I'm loving my loving, but when you get outside America, white people look at you a different way. You know what I'm saying? They actually like, nigga, you know you ain't in America no more. Like, you know you ain't in that. Your home. That's like, they know it's your home. Some of them knew. There's a lot of elites, millionaires and billionaires and shit out this motherfucker. Anyways, though, we had it cool, though. My family there from Minnesota, too. But I haven't seen a lot of people, I haven't seen it take life in front of me out here so many times. It's ridiculous. I don't want to talk about all that, but right there, I seen it. They like, Cook took this one, he fucked this one lady. I had to beat them niggas there, man. I was like, y'all, I tried to tell her, don't get out the water right there. She looked at me, it was an Asian lady, like, huh? Man, she slipped up, that tide sprung her in. It's alive. This water is alive, man. This is not regular water and shit. This shit said, boom, boom, boom. She looked up at me again, everything. Boom, boom, boom. Man. But anyways, I'm going through that shit every day and shit. Boom, boom, boom. Like, man, okay, we seen what's up. We seen big ass fucking whales. But after this lady died in front of me, we told her don't swim over there. She went to do it any goddamn way. Try to get her out the water. I got everybody in the water. Then I'll jump in to go play with them fucking fishes. They got sharks and shit in there. And the fishes come up to you. I just be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got the snorkel thing on. I was like, fuck it. And so, next you know, one of my lifeguard friends jumped over, getting their ass out the water, man. She was there right there and shit. I was like, damn. I was like, oh man. The dude that wanted to work with me, he was just like, damn, he wanted to experience some shit like that. So we get on the water the next day. I'm like, damn, you want to experience it? The water, the swell is like fucking on 10 or something. It's so damn high, you ain't supposed to get on the water, man. I'm thinking that I don't know why I didn't have no fear, man. But I got on that bitch. We went out there at noon and shit. Worked out, went out there at noon. Put the family out there. His white family, transported. We got out there telling the story and everything, man. I think he's mad. I think Captain Cook was mad at the story and shit. Because you can't go nowhere in the world without seeing it. If you won't know this story and shit. So it's like, this is where he came and shot cannons into the wall, which is supposed to have been where their ancestors was buried at. That's really what it was and shit. Them niggas was pissed. And these niggas is in tune with their ancestors and shit. So, you know, and I'm telling this story every day and shit, but from a nigga perspective though, and these motherfucking white folks like, damn, we sitting in the middle of the motherfucking Sea of the Gods and shit. This nigga, I know this nigga is getting mad and shit. So I get to the other side, get everybody out, and the swell is, we're on the way back, the swell is so fucking high. You know what I'm saying? You can see the people look like they finna capsize in the water, man. I get there, I wasn't even finna capsize. Some way, somehow, man, I capsized. Boom, I'm like, oh, you see all the white shit. This shit is so fucking high, man. I'm telling you, all you got to do is you'll get took into the rocks in the wall and boom, boom, boom. So I hurried up, grabbed my dang on, my kayak, turned that bitch over, like, jump back in there, motherfucker, boom, boom, boom. I found out it was kind of shallow because I had my stick there because I touched the ground. It had to be about 7. It was kind of far down, but it was cool. Got the kayak up, boom, 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 went out. Got up on the side when the swell was gonna come in. Heard my voice. I mean, you gotta get up out of here and whisper that shit. And He said, man, you got to get up out of there. Hey, look right here. Look what I found this shit. He said, you got to get up out of there, right? Look, I just found this on the ground. And so he said, you got to get up out of there. I was like, all right, cool. I hear him. I get up. You see all the family, so many of them out there. I'm like, damn, so my love is extended to them. I'm like, we're not going to get them up out this water, man. You know what I'm saying? And he's like a little ghost on me. You know what I'm saying? I started to get him up out the water. I'm like, get everybody up out the got everybody up out that motherfucker, man. And then it was one dude left. And the swell, we had him, and the thing broke, like, pow. He was a white boy that was kind of cool, like a black dude and shit or whatever. And he looked back. The way he looked back, man, it was like, he looked back, it was like so sad. I think he looked back at like that, like it was it. He was about to go into the wall, man. I think I said a prayer, and with my heart so hard, man. Because I didn't want nobody to say, everybody outside finna see it. It's so fucking rough right there. They're like, how in the fuck is y'all living? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, the only nigga dark, I ain't that dark, but I'm dark enough, I'm copper and shit, you know what I'm saying? Out there. So it's like, everybody's like clapping at this point, man. And well, they about to clap. They all like, oh, because the next swell finna come in. His kayak is backwards. It's back to the wall. You can't have your back to the water because it'll push you out. He prayed, man. That mug, that wave didn't even swell him over, man. His back was to the tide and everything, G. And so grabbed his ass up, boom, pulled his ass back, went up in there, and before the swell hit, grabbed him up, pulled him out. I think I just had a scar on my pinky or something like that, with a rope or something. And that was it. Got all of them out. Everybody clapped and shit. And can't even give us a tip. I was like, yeah, I'm about to be done with this job, motherfucker. Did that shit a few times, shit. Another time, oh man, I ain't gonna tell you the other time, but another time I had my dolphins with me and shit, man. That was great. Cause boy, Captain Cook was in that motherfucker that day. He trying to turn my kayak, turn my kayak around and make me, capsize on the way out. I was like, damn, what the fuck? And I never capsized. And I did. Everybody capsized. We had to go and get 2 more paddles. My paddle sank. I'm like, oh, this nigga's trying to get me out here. I was like, oh shit, your paddle ain't supposed to sink. My shit sank. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, I'm in the middle of that shit. Bro he had it just right. He had the paddle for me. Got the paddle, we got the people back in they shit. Because everybody was about to die basically right there. You know what I'm saying? That's what people do. They come out here to die, I guess. It's fucked up. I don't want to say it like that. But that's just what it is though. And man, got to the other side, chill, where the waters was all calm. You're supposed to be a sacred land, basically. I'm so sacred on that land, I'm chilling. You know, they already done sprayed up the Captain Cook monument, got it all, just talking shit. I'm like, oh man, they really sad on these people. And after having to look down at where we take these people out, it's an X on the ground, basically where he really was killed at, because it was an X marked on the ground. And I'm like, yo, ain't this the X? They like, damn. And the monument's further away, saying like, not too far away from this monument, but there's the X right there where we got out at every day. So I think he's just trying to fuck motherfuckers up. He's so smooth, it's so beautiful. Over there, it's a 45-minute hike downhill, but if you're on the boat, you can just get right across. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, on the way back though, that's I was at the head of the daggone whoop. We was chilling, my kayak was gonna turn. It's like a portal right there. If you look at it on the map, there's a portal right there in Captain Cook. And you can see the shit moving, like pulling the boat like to the left, to the right. And I was like, damn, because I'm always on the straight shit. Like, I know there's a portal right here. And you can feel it when it hits. And that's when the fucking tide changed. And the water's so damn deep, it's so blue, nigga, you can't see nothing, motherfucker. And so it was so quiet. And man, it's always quiet, but it was quiet this time though. And I was ahead of everybody looking like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah. And I feel my shit circling. I'm like, oh man, I'm not finna capsize now. Oh, don't let it capsize. No, I'm like, oh no. And it's finna get ready to turn over and shit. And I look up, and it was like, and it was like 12 black backs and shit, you know what I'm saying, coming out the water. And I was like, what the fuck? And it was dolphins, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh shit. Them niggas was like, oh, see, they mad, spirit mad like that shit. It was dolphins and shit, you know what I'm saying, coming up out the water. And one came up, he was right next to my kayak, man, like 2-3 feet. But he came up, dived right back in, no splashing. And I'm like, oh shit, I turned around, like, y'all see that? It was all like happy as hell trying to get up close to me and shit. But them right there, I guess it must have been a shark or something right there too, man, because you know, when they're around, sharks ain't around, because it was like a big ass shark that be in that bay, like a tiger shark. It'd be cool, but you know, you don't know that motherfucker. You got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? So it was a big ass shark. So when they around a dolphin, see a shark go like this. They just boom, boom, boom. But a dolphin can go down and come up and boom, hit the shark underneath and shit. You know, so they just basically guided the niggas back to the shore. And it's cool, man. But yeah, that was one of them stories, B. That was something else. But they got me in the Sea of the Passage of the Gods and shit. And the first time I think a nigga had been out there from America, that done been through that type of situation. You know what I mean? So that shows the difference of extraterrestrials and, you know, aliens and shit, I guess. Nah. Thanks for staying tuned, y'all. I'm finna get ready to hop up off of here. I love you. And shoot, go ahead and get some of this sun. Y'all see the horizon. They tried to do a cloud. They sent their little ship in, but it's all right. They got the antennas on this one too. See it? Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, real quick. When I said something about the story out here about the Tatari structures, they that's when they messed up my whole channel and shit. I showed them, you know, they ain't built this. I ain't do it ever since though, but I showed it all like years ago already. Like, you know, like 7 years ago already. You know. And now we're just doing Tatari. And I ain't no pictures and shit. Like, I'm walking up like, look at this. You see the Masonic symbol, da da da. All this in Minneapolis downtown. You know what I'm saying? Where all them buildings is at. The rich mansions with the big ass organs in them, and don't nobody know how to play. You know. But yeah, we connected to all that. Summit Avenue, you know, all that shit. So yeah, we're gonna build on that. Most I allow it to get out. But celibacy is the season. Celibacy is how we get to the crown chakra. And try to fuse mine. You know what I'm saying? With at 12, nigga. I'm trying to tell you. At 12, at the top of the Nile in the West. You know a nigga from Mississippi, man. You know, so they try to do it, and now I have to like pop my shit, but it's like it's there. But you know, I was able to play basketball, and nobody don't know. But that's just how I was able to carry on, you know. But yeah, it's about that. We all have this shit. They know all niggas got it. And if we do this, we straight. It takes no time, really. Every day is a fun day, and every month is fun. Every month is a test though, but every day is fun because you're gonna get tested, looking at life in a totally different way. Just don't release and don't think about sex more than 3 minutes, really, because it don't take that long to bust, right? You know what I'm saying? It don't take that. Some people, they can bust quick and shit, but they have a little bit stored up. But you ain't gotta worry about that. It's about exercising the divine eye, getting you in shape. So when you do get your manifest, your wife or your girl or whoever, you'll be ready to do them, all right? And have love and make love to her, and don't, you know, sexually gratify her ass or use your energy that you stored up to sexually gratify yourself. You don't want to waste that energy and be like, you done got all this energy up and now you done fucked around and turned gay or something. You got that horny and shit, because you be up, you experiencing every part of yourself and shit. And that's when your kundalini turn all that way. So you don't want to have an orgasm when your kundalini is all the way going that way. You know what I mean? It's like, gotta stop it and get it back to the way it's most supposed to go. It's an intercosmic orbit that we got. Yeah, I know I got off of the fact that the worlds and all that stuff, but y'all got to understand that the worlds. Hey, I seen the messenger and we're talking about the shit, and you know, now we're doing prevention now. We ain't got to worry about healing too tough. Just prevent. The older OGs are healing, but the younger ones can prevent. You know what I'm saying? Because the OGs are venting. You know what I mean? So catch on and catch heed, yo. You know what I'm saying? You know you got it within. Our land has common sense. Everybody else didn't have that. You know, so we was grateful. So we grateful for the little things. We'll be blessed with the big ones. All right, with that being said, I love y'all, and I'll build you in the next one. I had to give you a little one. Peace.